All right, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. It's your good friend Pozzible here, and I'm back with something I promised you. We're celebrating the Doctor Who 50th anniversary along with a lot of people. I did get to see the Day of the Doctor recently. We have a lot of great Doctor Who products on my website. So if you haven't yet, get to my site, check out the store, and see if you can find some great Doctor Who paraphernalia for yourself. Today, though, we do want to take a look at the Doctors. And again, unfortunately, we're only dealing with the last three because that's where I started and that's where I left off. I haven't seen all the episodes yet, but I do intend to. However, when it comes to those last three, Chris, Matt, and David, we're going to be looking at the top 5 shows. And I didn't get that in order. It was Chris, David, then Matt. Anyways, this is our current one. We are going to try to be spoiler free here. We definitely want to give you a chance to watch these episodes and enjoy these episodes if you haven't seen them yet. So let's get started. School Reunion was definitely one of the first really good episodes that I've seen. Basically, they were all great episodes, but what made this one different, besides the fact that you got a group of school kids working to enhance an alien plot by them enhancing the students' minds, you've got the return of Sarah Jane. This and K9, of course, but Sarah Jane's the main one. Here's the most important thing about Sarah Jane in this episode. I was enjoying the Doctor Who, but I'd always felt that this was just kind of a reboot. You know, they were starting all over again. And just, like anything else, just starting from the series, taking it from one place and moving forward. This was the first show that I saw that really gave me the indication that this was one condensed show. That what happened here also was the result of what happened in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and all the way to the beginning. It's all one series. I really didn't get that idea. In some ways, at first glance, being a non-Whovian at the time, I always assumed Doctor Who to be like James Bond. You just replaced him, just called this guy James Bond. And, a lot of people nowadays, they want to connect James Bond. They're like, oh, it's James Bond isn't a real person's name. It's just a code name. That's not how James Bond really works. And that's, different from Doctor Who also. So the fact that Doctor Who was really all one series, the complete thing, was really cool to me. Bringing back Sarah Jane, the original actress, to play the same character was awesome. K9, awesome. And this is my other favorite part about this episode. The one thing you gotta love is when the current companion gets to meet up with the old companion. Mickey was there and he was making fun of that. That two guys, a guy's nightmares when his current girlfriend meets his ex-girlfriend. And that's not really the case here, but you get the idea. It's kind of funny. It moved on so that K9 and Sarah Jane were able to get their own series in 2007 to 2011. The Sarah Jane Adventures. Dalek. Now this was a really good episode. In season 1, as they were revamping the series and trying to see if this thing would fly or not, they decided to bring in episode 6 and bring back the Doctor's old enemy. In the beginning of this season, 2005, when they were just restarting, you got it real quick. He was the Doctor. Rose was the companion. They went on adventures. But when you meet Dalek, not only do you get a real sense of his arch enemy, but you get a sense of his past for the first time, or one of the first times, I should say. They've always brought up the idea that he was the last of the Time Lords, but this is the first time they actually explained it in a little bit more detail as to what happened. He really couldn't talk about it with his companion, but he could talk about it with his enemy. Dalek is his Moriarty, his Lex Luthor, his Sheriff of Nottingham, I guess is another one. It's the ultimate arch nemesis. Doctor Who has many enemies, but the Dalek has always been numero uno when it comes to his bad guys. This episode also gets kudos because it has the cutest security guard you could ever meet. Over on the right-hand side, you'll notice Jaina Carpenter as DiMaggio, I believe was her name. She is just too cute not to mention. And you know what? For being so short and being so good looking, it didn't bother you at all that she was trying to be a tough security guard. She definitely played that part really well. The other part about it was that this was not just an introduction to the Doctor's past, but this was a great introduction to the Dalek. I had heard of the Daleks before, and I have seen their posters before, and I have seen their toys before, but I've never seen a Dalek in action. And to be honest, I never got it until now. Daleks always seemed kind of silly, kind of ridiculous. They're these rotating machines. But if there's anything you learn from this one episode, is that you never take a Dalek for granted, ever. You take the Dalek extremely seriously. The moment you do not respect these guys, they will kill you. The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. Well, yep, from here on out, all the episodes are so good, they couldn't make one episode. They had to make two. The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances brings the Doctor to World War II, where he meets a child who has this gas mask stuck to his face and is constantly looking for his mother. Everyone is scared to death of this child, as well they should be. Because if you get in touch with him, he will turn you to make you out to be just like him. He has a whole army of these people. One of the reasons this one makes my list is because I like the fact that the Doctor's stories didn't steer away from horror. I got that they had the science fiction, I got that they had the action and adventure, a little bit of drama, and of course the comedy, but the fact that they could be so freakishly horrible and really make them scary, that's what made this one so special. Also, we have to admit, it introduced us to Captain Jack Harkness for the first time. One of the Doctor's friends that we get to meet over and over again, and he was so enjoyable. They gave him a great story, and they even made him a part of Torchwood. So, a very exciting thing there. Next up, the Pandorica opens, and the Big Bang. The only thing I can say about this story is that it really gets the Doctor tricked into opening up the great Pandorica box. It's one of those prisons within a riddle, within a mystery, within traps, within puzzles, within locks. It's the most impossible prison ever. This story had everything going for it. It's not just a question of who tricked the Doctor, but what was inside it when he first opened it, and what was inside it after it was opened the second time around. The way they opened it in the first episode of the Pandorica Opens was incredible. When they opened it for the first time in the Big Bang, it was earth-shattering. And the story behind the Pandorica and what it goes through, the years and all that, completely and utterly brilliant. The Stolen Earth and Journey's End has got to be pound for pound, ounce for ounce, every moment of Doctor Who epicness. Yep, those Daleks are back. And this time, they're not only going to steal the Earth, but they're going to steal like 26 or 27 other planets. And it's all in their quest to take over the universe, I guess, which is what Daleks were always meant to do. So what's going to happen? Well, it's up to everybody to first get a hold of themselves. Because let me tell you something, the best part about this series, the one part that really made it ultimately, was when everyone found out that the Daleks were coming, they freaked out. As you can tell by the look on Captain Harkness' face. You notice that these two heads on the left and right of him, that's his companions. He grabbed them. He kissed them goodbye. You know, Sarah Jane grabbed her son and freaked out. It's the Daleks coming, for crying out loud. When they're coming, all hope is lost. And that's what you want from a villain. You do not want this villain to think that, okay, we're going to take you down, or okay, we're going to, call to arms. When you have a villain, you need to have a villain that's so badass that you just lose all hope. that all hope is lost, and that you're worried, you're scared. So it is up to the Doctor and all his companions now must bond together to stop the Daleks. So you brought back Rose, you brought back Mickey, you have Martha, you've got Captain Jack, you got Sarah Jane, you got Rose's mother, and you've got... Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot her name. Donna Noble. And of course, I did not do that in any proper order, so don't go left to right or right to left. I was completely out of sync there. But this is how you do an epic episode. This is kind of the way what I wanted the Day of the Doctor to be. I wanted the Day of the Doctor to be this accumulation of everyone and everything, and bring in as many companions as you can, and give us a threat so serious that you gotta sacrifice as much as you can just to survive, I mean, if there's anything else I loved about this too, is that you got to see Rose and what she has become because she met the Doctor. Rose, when you first met her, she worked at a department store, she lived with her mom, and she was just this lost lady without her A-levels. That's kind of like some special level in England or something like that. Mickey was also kind of a lost soul, just basic bloke. Then he met with the Doctor, had all these adventures, and just, expanded his way of thinking and everything. The way he does with all these people, but the way they changed Rose, and the way they changed Mickey, and the way they even changed Captain Jack, all because they met the Doctor, just goes to show how wonderful the Doctor is, how the show can be, and that's all brought to a head in this episode. Stolen Earth Journey's End is definitely the best episode that they have ever done in Doctor Who. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with this list? What are your favorite Doctor Who episodes? Please let me know. I would love to hear about them. And who knows, maybe we can do a recap of those episodes as well. Well, guys, it's been a real pleasure. We've got some more Whovian videos coming up. But in the meantime, we will see you at the theaters.